Hi, welcome to the Adult Treehouse. I'm Siobhan,
I'm Malmore.
and we are here to discuss and talk about life from the female
And male.
point of view, just about all of the things that happen every day.
Daddy's home. The Adult Treehouse.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Adult Treehouse. I'm Siobhan.
This is Almore again.
And today, what are we talking about today, Almore?
I think we're going to talk about the most uncomfortable talk that we would probably experience in our lives, where our parents or guardians were talk to us about sex.
Oh, shit. I definitely remember mine. It definitely wasn't fun.
No?
Hell no, man.
Who did it come from?
Both parents, 2 separate times.
Oh, so double the fun.
Oh, damn, bro. Like my mom, so from probably, I would say from the time my stepdad moved out, so I was probably about like 9 or 10 years old until I was way into high school and college, probably my rest of my life. All she would say is all boys want to do is touch your boobs, touch your butt, and say they had sex with you.
That's correct. That's correct. That's correct.
That honestly, that is absolutely correct. Which is fine. Like I had my 5-year-old boyfriend ask me to sit on his lap, and I definitely didn't. And I'm sorry if he's listening to this right now. He's such the sweetest person, still really cool, still good friends, but broke up with him. But we still remain friends and stuff. Like we were literally we're childhood friends.
So you still keep in touch?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's got a kid and everything. Like he's doing
Okay.
great in his life, career, whole nine. So proud of him. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
Because our families are still friends.
Oh, so he's like a family friend type
Yeah,
thing. So.
exactly.
So he's always going to be in your life.
always forever.
Okay.
The thing is that I introduced him to my family. Like our family became friends because of me and him.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. He's still at all my birthday parties still too, which was great.
So why did you guys break up?
Because I wouldn't sit on his lap. He asked me to sit on his lap and I said no.
And then that was the breakup.
That was the breakup.
Wow. That's pretty sad.
I mean, I'm not going to sit on some dude's lap.
Right. So then that's what your mom explained, and
That's
that
what
she
my mom
embedded
explained.
in your mind.
Yes. And then my father, I was probably like 12 or 13. I spent the summer with him. So I want to say I was like 12 going on 13. He literally said to me, don't come home pregnant.
Well, see, that's another thing.
That's it.
I think a lot of dads will be very concerned about that, right? About
Absolutely. Their
Getting-
daughter's
their daughter
coming home
getting
pregnant.
pregnant. Yeah.
I mean, it happens, right? Teen pregnancy happens. Shit happens, and then you die.
Oh, and I just
essentially.
want to make a note. I seen Siobhan's dad, and you would not want to get this way. So any guys out there, I would be like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna get her pregnant. No way.
Yeah, they definitely would not want to get me pregnant.
Yeah, I've seen Siobhan's dad. No way.
But, like, I mean, low key they would, but then be like, oh no, I don't want to fuck with him because if I don't want to fuck with her because like if I hurt her,
Yeah.
he's gonna get mad.
Yeah.
And my uncles too. And
Oh,
then
right.
remember, there's a crew of us.
It's a big family. Yeah.
Yeah,
on
there's
your
like
side.
60 deep. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, there's like 60 deep.
Yeah. So okay. So like, but it wasn't uncomfortable. What was more uncomfortable, your mom or your dad?
I don't know because then like we didn't really talk about sex in the home afterwards with my mom. That's all she would say to me. Yeah, that was it. But like when I told my dad that I had sex for the first time,
Fuck it. You told your dad?
fuck yeah, I told him.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
no.
I was 19 years old. I didn't care at that point. I was like, dude, this is what I did.
Okay. Well, at least you're honest.
I was honest. I mean, why not be honest? Why would I lie? Like, I'm not going to do that. He smoked 3 packs of cigarettes in like an hour.
Yeah, I would be, if my daughter told me that, I don't know how I'd take that. But it's good that you're that close that you could like reveal that to him.
I mean, why would you want to lie to your parent like that at that point?
I think that's really uncomfortable for me. Let's say if I had a daughter and she would tell me, I mean, okay, I guess it would be nice to know, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's still.
But would you rather know that your daughter's having safe sex or like being unsafe and coming home with an STD, pregnant, or HIV? At least you know that I'm having
All right.
safe sex.
All right, you got a point. You got a point there.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the first time that I had the conversation, I actually had to have a conversation with my brother. So I have a younger brother, 2 younger siblings. Well, 3 younger siblings. I have a 30-year-old sister. I have a younger sibling and I have 2 younger siblings under the age of 18. So he had come up to visit. He was probably 11 at that time. And he was like, so I like this girl and she asked me to touch her boobs. And I was like, oh my God, am I really having this conversation right now? Am I having this conversation? Is this real?
That's a big step for a kid.
It was extremely big. And I give him props for telling me because that meant that he felt safe. But
yeah.
Dude, oh man.
That's a lot to take in. That's a lot to take in because, it's like, it's one thing to hear about it from your friend.
Absolutely.
It's another thing when you hear it from a relative, especially it's your sibling and they're younger than you. It's just kind of weird.
It was super weird. It's not even as though we were very close in age either. It's almost as though he could be my child. So it's like I have to tell my child what not to do.
So it's almost like a rehearsal.
It was so a rehearsal, and I got it, and I took it home. I took it home because he's not having sex, which is great.
That's great. I don't know if he agrees with you.
I mean, listen, he's very young, and whenever it happens, but at least I gave him proper knowledge.
Okay, so that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my experience, like same thing. I had the sex talk from both parents, but my mom is because I'm a single child as opposed to like I was the only child from my mom. I have other siblings where they're my half brother, half sisters.
Yeah.
But my mom treated me much more like a daughter, if you could believe it.
A daughter?
Yeah, because you know how you worry about, like, I know it's going to be sexist, but you worry about a girl more because she could get pregnant, right?
Yeah, no, it's very true.
Yeah. So, but with me, she worried about me getting a girl pregnant. So she would always put in my head, you're going to ruin your life. if you get her pregnant.
Yeah.
2, you're going to get AIDS. I'm like, what AIDS? I was like, I'm like, wow, you're going to get AIDS? Like,
you're going to get AIDS if I have sex.
Yeah. So I was like, oh my God. So those are the 2 things that I'm going to have to worry about. It's about the AIDS and getting a girl pregnant. But I was like, what if I get her pregnant and get AIDS? So that freaked me out.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
But I was just thinking, oh my God, this is so many things. But like being the little crazy rascal I was, I knew that there must be some kind of catch to it because my mom would always deny me the good stuff. So I'm thinking
she would deny you the good stuff.
Yeah, like won't let me play video games too long. Won't let me eat junk food. So I'm thinking this is all a scam because probably sex is amazing, and she doesn't want me to like have too much of it because it's too amazing. So she's telling me that you could get this, you could get AIDS, and you could get pregnant. But I was like, there's some way that you could stop all this.
Yeah, she's telling you all the bad shit.
Right.
Really
so then I said to myself, I'm gonna educate myself.
Okay, good.
So I attended.
Did you watch porn?
The porn I watched when somebody who was older than me and a family friend.
Okay.
I was playing Punch Out.
Oh my God! Seriously?
Yeah. And they thought it was funny. I was 6 years old. They thought it was funny to put on a porno and let me see my reaction. So I had no idea what's going on. All I knew was this guy was on top of this girl, and then like he made this weird face, and then all this like cream stuff came out. I was like, whoa, what is this? And they were laughing. And then I think my uncle came in and he was fucking pissed. He's like, what the fuck are you showing our? So I had this all in my mind, like, oh my God, so this is what happens. And then, so on top of the pregnant thing and top of the AIDS thing, I was like, what the hell? Yeah, it was really bad. So I said to myself, yeah, I really had to educate myself. So in school, they have, I think it was like 4th grade, they had this thing where you could have sex ed.
Yeah, I remember sex ed. I had sex ed.
But I don't know, do you have to have permission from your parents? They have to sign it.
Yeah. And they show you like the female anatomy and everything. You're so like, funny. Is this really what it looks like? Oh my God, that's what Yanni looks like. Yes. And you're about 14.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not even 14. It's like, you're like
I was 9 when I had sex ed.
Oh yeah.
That was, I don't know if they do that now, but that was, now I look back, that's
no,
kind of
they
young.
do. They still do sex ed at that age.
Mm-hmm. So that's why it shocked me. So I had to take my, like a part of that. So when I learned about the technical science part of it, I was like, well, maybe it's not so bad because they didn't mention about you getting AIDS.
No, absolutely not.
Not yet. So they were just telling, they just handled the basics about how a woman gets pregnant. And so I was like, okay, so that's where that stuff came from the, when I thought about the previous thing. But yeah, that was my experience with my mom just scaring me. But, and then I had to pull other things too. Like, so there's this kid book in the library. I forget the name of it. If you guys could Google this, but it's a cartoon book.
Okay.
And it would show like little Timmy or little blah, blah, blah. Uh-huh. And they said that it's okay for him to touch himself under the cover. So you would see cartoons of like this kid touching himself in the covers. It's really intense. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, but it's built for a children's book to teach you that about your sexuality and all. It's like, you guys have to look up this book. Now
oh my God, I need to look this book up. Yeah, it's so important.
And it taught you about purity, that you could expect to have change in your body, and it's okay to masturbate. It was all this weird stuff. I was like, I can't believe this came out of the library. So I knew that this is a bad book.
Okay. Not
really bad as per se, but I knew it's going to be as bad. So I took out this book. Mm-hmm. And I also took out Clifford the Red Dog. So that way it mixes.
It was like mixing and you just couldn't see it, really.
But I know the librarian, when they were checking me out, they were like looking at me and then looking at this book. They're like, well, we can't deny him this book, but it's just kind of weird.
You need to keep that book.
Yeah,
it's important to learn about it.
Yeah, so I took a little bit of that. Mm-hmm. And that kind of like propelled me to like learn more about sex.
Seriously?
Yeah. Okay,
so then you read the whole thing.
I read the whole thing. And I was like, oh, so it's okay to jerk off. That's okay too.
I mean, I would think personal pleasure is very important.
Yeah.
You should do that for yourself.
I don't know about girls. I had the interpretation that girls don't do that.
That's a lie.
But girls tell me.
I'm gonna be very honest.
Girls told me they
said sex before.
Girls told me they never masturbate. I was like, that's bullshit.
That's bullshit. But that is such bullshit.
I don't
I personally don't, but there's a lot of vibrators and shit. Like,
yeah, that's how I found out when I got older. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I think the market is more for women to masturbate because of all these vibrators. There's so many different kinds right now out there.
Oh my God. Let me tell you, there's so many women that legitimately, because their man does not know how to pleasure them correctly,
that's a shame,
use their vibrator afterwards. I promise you.
Well, how about if they maybe try to incorporate it with their sex play?
I think it's perfect. I think sex toys are absolutely amazing and people should use them.
Yeah,
I personally am not a sex toy person. I have tried it once.
You didn't like it?
Not really. It wasn't something that I was like, oh my God, I need it. Like, I was just like, oh God. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, and I never had the sex talk with my dad. I said I had it too, but he just told me like really basic. He didn't really get into detail. He was just like, yeah, just don't get a girl pregnant. That was it.
Oh, the same thing my father said.
Yeah. But and it's just like, oh, and by the way, just use a condom. Mm-hmm. And that was it. So my mom was more like, I'm going to scare you to death. Okay. And my dad was just more like nonchalantly like, oh yeah, this is what you need for protection and you're good.
Okay.
Go out to the world.
Well, that's good. I mean, I honestly think I understand like moms and dads. I understand their points of views because you definitely don't want your child going out and being like, oh, let me sleep with everybody. I can procreate. That's great. You have to be in the right mental state in order to procreate.
But did you also have like what I did? I had to go out there and seek my own knowledge.
I mean, if you asking if I tested the water, yes, I did not need to seek knowledge of anything else.
Okay. All right.
Nah.
No, but I mean, like as far as like not from personal experience, but seek knowledge as far as like
education,
text, or something like that.
Absolutely. I definitely made sure I had enough personal knowledge around it and just everything. Because honestly, just for myself, I mean, I want to know everything, like all of everything that I need to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pros, cons. It's a contract almost.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. Sometimes I think my route is so weird to that how I learned more about sex because I also learned about fetishes and all stuff, and also like transvestites and all that stuff, like at a young age. Like
I didn't learn about that until later on in life, but I had friends that were gay.
Okay.
Yeah. I did.
Yeah.
I did, and I was so cool with it.
Yeah, that's why like some people like are surprised when I know like somebody who's transgender or something walks by the street and they don't see me like even wink, bat an eye or just be like shocked, because I know living in New York, I guess you've seen all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my parents, I think they were very good about not being prejudiced against like homosexuals or anything like that. So they were just like, all right, it's just a natural thing, whatever. So I was never very like, I would say culture shocked by it.
Okay.
It was more like, okay, it's a regular thing, whatever, you know?
I honestly, it absolutely is. I mean, I danced for years, so I saw it all, and you would be around like gay men, and like the lesbian thing didn't really come out until I was like in college, where like I met my best friend, and I just knew before she knew. And honestly, it was the best, even though it's very uncomfortable to be like, it's all good. Like, I get it. You know, people don't want to come out with like their sex or whatever. But let me tell you, I've walked in on friends having sex with, I have seen it firsthand.
You see it like right in front of you?
I did. I walked in on my best friend. I walked in on my best friend.
Okay.
And then I turned around and went and got drunk.
Well, yeah, that's just weird just to see that.
I mean, I could deal with, I just did not want to walk in on anyone having sex. And I was just like, oh my God, this is real.
I never run into it, but to further my knowledge about sex, see, now I'm gonna age myself because I'm gonna tell you how I learned about other stuff. So I learned about the technical stuff, right? The science part in school.
Okay.
So then I'm like, I need to know real life experiences, but I'm too young to have sex right now, I guess. But like, how can I do it without doing it, right? So I listened to this radio show on Z100. If a lot of you guys were like, if it, you know, are born in the 80s, it was a show on the Z100 called Love Phones.
Oh, I remember that one because it was still on for a while.
Yeah, so it was from, I think, late at night from 10 to 12, I think it was. And it was hosted by a sex therapist, a woman called Dr. Judy, and a disc jockey too called Chris Jagger.
Yeah.
And then the people would call in, right? And just be like, oh, I have this problem. I can't get an erection, or my boyfriend can't make me climax. So then I would like hear about this real life situations.
Orgasm.
Yeah. And then of course you have the experts telling, or the doctor, right? Or the sex therapist telling her like her opinion. So this is where I learned like all the gears in my head. I'm like, whoa, so this is an actual profession. Like, yeah. So I was like, wow, this is really interesting. So it made me dive into more. And this is pre-internet, right? So I would find nudie magazines where I told you.
Yes.
Where like it's regular heterosexual stuff. And then there were even like, you know, the other fetishes and then the transgender stuff. So then I would learn about that. And then
that's awesome.
Yeah. And then I would hear about that stuff in the show too.
Yeah.
So I put everything together. So it was just more like everything coming to plan as far as like my learning experience about it.
That's wonderful. Like, so that for me, I didn't learn until later, like, as I became an adult, right? I mean, as I said, I walked in on my best friend, and I've had friends of mine send me videos and pictures, and I'm like, guys, like TMI, like I understand, ladies, you want me to, like, I'm just not into that. Like, I'm good, thank you. I have my own. I know what it looks like. Thank you very much.
Oh, did you think they're trying to convert you or something?
No, I think they just. I don't know.
Okay, so you were like, okay, they just want to show me and whatever.
I don't know. It's still like, am I turning red right now?
Yeah, a little bit. That's why I'm just like, I'm just watching this happen in front of me.
It's kind of funny, right? It's so uncomfortable. It was so uncomfortable, and I felt so bad. So, I mean, it was obviously we were away, and I apologized to my best friend for walking in and whatever. And she's like, "Girl, I don't care." And I was like, "Okay, all right." I have been walked in on before, though.
Really? That's embarrassing. Were you at least? Was it at least like
It was great.
The nights are, at least like the lights were off or something?
No.
Oh, no.
It's fine. It happens.
Okay.
So it happens. It's great. It's great.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, mind you, like all this knowledge I got from this love phone stuff,
Yeah.
I was in junior high. So I'm already aged like 12, 13, listening to stuff like this on that sort of.
Stop.
Yeah. So that's why it was a really early age that I was learning all this stuff. Crazy, right?
I mean, I respect you for going out and learning.
Yeah. I even learned about how,
do you notice how intrigued I am? Because like I am still red from being like, oh well, this is what happened.
well,
but like
I always thought that I wanted to be like a sex therapist.
you
but,
should. Didn't
but-
we talk about you being a gynecologist?
Yeah, but nobody would like take me seriously.
Hell no. No. I would never, if you were a doctor and we did not meet, we had no idea, I'd be like, no, he can't,
Yeah,
he
that's what-
cannot.
Because I think I have this
You can't.
smirk in my face that
Yeah, I would be like, he enjoys this too much. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Next, please, interview.
Well, what I found out was crazy. In college, I took, I was actually going to major in accounting,
Yeah.
but like I took electives and I realized I was like, let me take like intro to human sexuality and all this stuff just to see how it is. And I found out that it's a very dominated field for women.
Yeah.
So not that I felt uncomfortable, but I just felt out of place. Because I would answer some of these questions
Yeah.
and like I would get kind of glares from women like, oh, that's just such a guy perspective. But then I'm thinking like, yeah, well, what's wrong with that though, right?
I think what happens, especially as females, when you go into like these sex, whatever, you have these sex talks, right? And if it's with a male, obviously I'm really happy that we're getting 2 points of views here, right?
Yeah.
Keep in mind, you're a male, I'm female. We have 2 points of views. Yes, we both are heterosexual, whatever. But we're getting different points of views and sitting here and saying, well, this is what it is. This is what my experiences was. Yes, I am uncomfortable in certain things and on certain aspects. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure if you got a picture, you'd be like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, I would.
Right?
I would.
But like as women, like when we sit in a room with men, we're like, oh, they're going to just judge us or they just look at us as a piece of meat, which is true sometimes, which is very true. But if you are a dominant woman or at least just a woman that just holds herself and just confident, a male will be able to respect that and say, hey, you know what? Let me just tone down my ego real quick and just hear her out. And as a female, they should never be judging you because you're there for a reason, just to give your point of view. It's key. It's very important. I feel like that's one part of our society that we like miss out on.
Yeah, I mean, like in group projects, I was always usually like picked last to be in this.
Seriously?
Yeah, because they were like thinking like this guy's probably just gonna giggle his way through because we're talking about like sex stuff. But
Yeah.
I really took that course seriously. Because I had that background, like I said earlier, about like learning about all these different things. So it was interesting to see all that stuff.
It's very interesting. I mean, to be honest, there's grown adults that don't even know about their sex anatomy, that don't even understand about like what goes on with their body.
Right. Exactly.
Do you realize how much that sucks?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's also like people don't think that sex is just a physical thing, but it's also a psychological thing.
It is.
So you could psych yourself out and like, not that's ever happened to me, but that you can't like get an erection or something, which I understand,
I honestly have had talks with friends and that has happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And like, I've legitimately have watched a dude, like I have like sat there and just like had a conversation with them and like watched them turn themselves on and like, bruh. I'm literally sitting at dinner, not doing anything, and we're talking. Like,
Right.
stop. Like,
Right.
What the hell is wrong with you?
That's why I think that when parents talk to you or their kids about sex or something like that, it's always giving you the bare minimum.
Yeah,
and it's up to
absolutely.
you to find out how to, like
Navigate.
navigate like, like the actual like different parts of it. But there are some parents that are cool about it, but yeah, not a lot of parents can like, take that full leap forward.
I mean, I don't think they can. I feel like it's just a very uncomfortable topic to discuss. Like I know people that their moms once they got their period and once they found out they were having sex, they were like, literally grabbed them, took them to the gynecologist, put them on birth control, and then that was it.
Right.
You know, and that's not right. Or when they hit a certain age, they just threw them condoms and said, just be safe.
Yeah, and I think you're right about that because there is a different aspect of it. I think you even told me about the show on Netflix.
Yeah,
Sex Education.
It's great. I love it.
Yeah, so it's basically like this kid whose mom is a sex therapist. So she has all these opinions and open about it, but it makes him feel really uncomfortable
because she's too open about it.
Yeah, that's why. And then he gets really embarrassed that his friends are like, "Oh my god, you know, like your mom is this sex therapist who like just
why can't you do it?"
Yeah,
and then he takes her advice and starts like he analyzes it because he is going through this weird phase where he doesn't know about his sexuality. He's like, I'm not sure, but his best friend's gay. And then like, you know, he's like, well, can't even masturbate. This is like so uncomfortable. Masturbating was like not okay for him. And, like he just starts helping these people along the way and helping them with their sexuality and like exploring themselves, exploring in their relationships, doing different things, positions, this, that, dressing up. Like people don't realize like role playing is actually good sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, not doing it in the fucking room all the time is great.
But you know what? I'm also thinking like kids today, right? They probably have a better advantage since they have the internet.
No, they have a worse advantage.
Well, I think because like if I had the access to this, I could be like searching everything. But I guess you're right in that aspect where it's too much information at one time.
Way too much information. The digital age, it's great. Love the digital age. But the problem that happens is that now people are not procreating in order to have more. So our population's going down because people are masturbating instead of going ahead or using virtual pleasure instead of going ahead and actually having pleasure with each other.
That is true. Yeah. I don't know if I would have sex with a robot.
I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't.
To me, it's like, that's like...
I love the human touch. I think that's great.
Yeah, I mean, like that's too much. I mean, it's almost like a blow-up doll, right? I don't know. I don't think I could do that.
Definitely not.
Unless it's like super realistic.
No, I mean, there's sex toys out there.
Yeah.
And I promise you, I've seen a lot of sex toys out there. Yes, I know someone that was in the industry.
Right.
personally know someone that was in the industry, and I have seen fleshlights.
Oh, I was gonna ask you if you knew about that.
Yeah, I do.
Do you want to? You know what? I want you to tell people what that is. People who don't know what that is, because I think it's funny coming from a woman's perspective.
Okay, the first time I ever saw a fleshlight was probably about 7 years ago.
Okay, so explain to them what that is.
Okay, a fleshlight is like a flashlight. It is something that you hold. You turn around and it has this top that's on the bottom, and it's actually pretty big. It's a top that's on the bottom that like it's pretty big. So you're like, oh, what the hell is it? It's a flashlight. You unwind it and turn it, and it's a vagina.
Or it could be a mouth sometimes.
Or it could be a mouth. But this one was a vagina.
Okay.
And the guy puts his penis in it, jerks himself off with it, and ta-da! That's it.
Yeah, but I'm just hoping that guys out there are keeping it clean. You
have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
You need to sanitize it. You need to go ahead and bleach it sometimes. You do your thing and clean that shit out.
Wow, so you know about that, huh?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do. Yes, absolutely. I know about the fleshlight, the vibrating ring, the whips, all the vibrators. There's like a million different vibrators. A new one is the one that like... it has like 2 different sides to it. And done a lot of research, guys.
Oh, man, we need to make a show about this. It's like, all right.
There's a bunch. And the one that's the ring, it actually goes on the guy's penis, and it's actually like, it's pretty good.
Okay. All right.
Pretty good. Yeah.
All right. I'll what is that? Adam and Eve. I'll check that out.
You should definitely check it out.
All right. But you know, I'm telling you, that could be a whole nother show. We need somebody who actually sells these items to like talk about this.
I can figure out. Let me find some people.
Okay. All right. But have you ever had a follow-up with your parents about sex?
So I've recently had a conversation with my mom about sex, and she got so uncomfortable.
So now it's the other way around, right?
Yeah. I was like, so let me tell you, blah, 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 blah. And she was like, And I was like, you feel weird, don't you? Right? And she's like, yeah. I was like, ding, bingo. There you go.
Oh no.
With my dad, oh my God, that man does not fucking stop. That dude, I swear to you, he is almost 60 years old. I am surprised his dick hasn't fallen off. That man is so fucking horny. It's horrible.
Oh, well.
like I don't even start talking about sex with him because I'm like, dude, he's like, yeah, I'm like, bro, go do your thing. Go do your thing, please.
I probably need to talk to him about that one of these days for his stories.
Dude, I can't have like a sex conversation with him. He like legitimately will tell me, I'm like, bro, ears, daughter, ears, thank you. Don't want to talk about it. Don't want to talk about it.
Right.
He doesn't shut up.
No, I remember he's this cool dude. So I know if we brought up the subject, he would just be an open book.
Oh my God. You have no idea. The one thing he asked me was, when are you getting pregnant? I was like,
oh, okay. You can skip that.
Skip that one. I was like, maybe next time. Not right now.
Yeah, fortunately, like I haven't had that talk with my parents as like a secondary talk, so they left it at that.
They did?
Yeah, so that's fine with me. I rather not talk to my dad about it because just like your dad,
yeah, he doesn't stop.
No, he has a lot of experience.
They got a lot.
Yeah,
they're like the Energetic Bunny.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm hoping that when I get to that age, my dad's 78, that I'll have that much enthusiasm with sex. But I think I will. I feel like it's never gonna fade. But I mean, I don't think I'll be at that level though.
I mean, I think like honestly, if you are Viagra, there you go. You'll be able to still get it up.
Yeah, there's a lot. Viagra, Cialis, all that stuff out there.
There's a bunch of stuff. You could find natural herbs, vitamins, the whole nine, aphrodisiacs. Go eat some oysters. Great.
Oh, yeah, that works too, I heard.
Yeah, it does. Apparently, I just can't eat shellfish, so,
So, wow, like a lot of time just passed by with just a little conversation.
Wow, I cannot believe it. This is awesome.
Yeah. So maybe, I don't know, we'll have a follow-up on this, but yeah, it was a fun conversation about how we found out, how our parents talked to us about sex.
Absolutely. I think we need to get maybe we'll do a follow-up and maybe get a guest at some point to talk about how
definitely.
Their first conversation was about sex. Possibly, maybe I'll get my dad on here.
Oh, okay.
And maybe my mom. Let's see.
That'll be great. I'll definitely be here for that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening to our last episode of the Adult Treehouse. I'm Siobhan.
And Elmore.
And we really appreciate you guys hearing us. Take care. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.